Okay.
All right. We are live.
I just retweeted. Hi.
Hello.
I don't think we have anybody watching just yet, but hello for when you do watch.
Oh, Allie, did you know that you can hit over here in the corner where it says live comments and you get all the comments?
Yeah, I just clicked it. I was trying to read them earlier and I was like, I can't.
Oh, okay.
I
I didn't know if you had noticed that or not, and I didn't want to point it out during the live show.
Well, at first I was like, no one's saying anything.
Like it takes a minute for them to appear.
So I'm calling this the after live show live show.
There you go. It works. So because, how is everyone doing with the readathon?
I'm kicking butt.
I mean, what? There's one day left.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run some Twitter sprints tomorrow, seeing as I literally have nothing to do. Excuse me.
Yeah,
it won't be as good as Allie's were today.
I was gonna say I ran some and 2 people joined in.
No, it's okay. Yeah, people may be actually joining in and they're not actually saying that they're joining in.
Yeah, I have like most of the time, like I don't ever follow along when someone else is doing them. I come back to it like later on. Because most of the time, the timing is just like never ideal for me. I either read really early in the morning or really late, or it's an audiobook all day long. So
one of the sprints I ran last night, I was like, okay, we're going to start and we started at 7 o'clock. We're like, okay, we're going to start at 7 o'clock and we're going to make this sprint 30 minutes long. And then I came back after 20 minutes and I was like, and stop. And then I did whatever I was going to do. And then I'm like, a little bit later, I'm like, oh, I'm stupid. This was supposed to go 10 minutes longer.
I'm always bad. Like sometimes I'll be like, okay, read for 15 minutes. And then 3 hours later, I'm like, oh yeah, we were doing a sprint 3 hours ago.
Girl, but you also have the greatest, basically like stop right here. And the third item on the page is what you're going to use to help protect you from the rain or something. And I'm like, what? These are awesome.
I always try to do like a story within a story. So
it's perfect.
Yeah. I like that. I saw that this morning. I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Mine, I just did like, what's the first line you're reading? Or what's the last line you're reading? Or just read.
Sometimes it's hard to like prompt things though. So most of the time I just want to be like, just read for 15 minutes because sometimes that's hard enough.
Where did Mel go?
She just was out.
All
right. Well, hi guys. Everyone is
sorry about that. I dropped my mouse and it just apparently backed me out of the
I was just like, okay.
Yeah,
you guys.
I'll take it.
She's like, we've done too many of these. I don't know if I could do it again.
Well, I'm like, it's a little too early to start with the, drunk live show, and
never too early. I had a glass of wine at 8 a.m. the other day.
I do have a giant bottle in the fridge.
I was like, this is normal now.
See, y'all are stuck in the house. Even though I don't have a job currently, I'm babysitting my boss's kid.
Yeah.
So I'm still getting up every morning to go work a full day and listen to that annoying show she likes. The Puppy Dog Pals.
Oh.
Disney.
I don't know.
We're watching on Disney Plus. Those dogs' voices. I had dreams of them. I'm just happy we're on new episodes now. We're on a different season. We're on new episodes. It's all that matters.
I was gonna say I could just imagine just the same one on loop all day long.
Happy birthday, Kylie.
Happy birthday, Kylie. Oh, yeah, I have a giant bottle of like, it's blackberry arbor mist. That's so good. probably so many calories. Though.
I just make my own concoction. So
I had one of those somebody made me, and they put it in this really. Hold on.
I normally drink.
I'm just gonna get drunk off of milk and cookies over here.
I normally just drink out of a skull cup because it means death at some point.
Yes.
They put it in this little bottle here.
Oh my god, that bottle's so cute though.
They made it with like actual berries and gin and
My parents,
juice, but
my parents make their own wine and they have grapevines and everything. So I normally just drink whatever they got.
Nom, 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 nom. Man, that's good. You like funneled, like was cooking it on the stove and making it. It's so good.
Okay, question. Seeing as we never actually mentioned it in the other live show, what is everybody's rating for If I'm Being Honest?
I give it 5 stars.
I think I gave it 4.
I think I'm giving it a 4.5.
Yeah, I think so I've read a lot of contemporary in this past week, and I think I was rating it against the other contemporaries that I was reading, and it wasn't the best one that I read, but it wasn't the worst one that I read, and I enjoyed all of them. So,
see, I was going to give it a 4-star until that last chapter bumped it up a half a star because I started crying the minute Megan Owen appeared. And I was like, I love when authors do that they intertwine their characters.
Little
especially
cameos.
In their contemporary world, might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was originally thinking it was going to be 4 stars, but something about it just kind of, I don't know. I fell in love, and I was like, it's 5 stars. And that was what happened with the first book, too. I gave it 5 stars. And
oh, yeah. I love it. The first one was so good.
I gave the first one
usually, like, for contemporary romance, it's usually like a 4-star, if that. And
I gave the first one a 4.5 because I hate Romeo and Juliet. Every time Romeo and Juliet appeared, with this, I read it in 8th grade in Arkansas. I read it in 9th grade when I moved 8th grade in Blanchard as well, because we moved back from Arkansas. Then 9th grade, I read it, and I also did it in acting class in 10th, same year. And then 10th grade, when we moved to Norman, was another year of reading it. I freaking hate Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either.
10th grade, I requested if I could read a different Shakespeare play and take a different test, and the teacher allowed me to. I just had to pass the original test. She gave it to me that day, and I got 100 on it. I was like, I'm over this. This play away from me.
In high school, I really liked Romeo and Juliet. Rereading it as an adult, I'm like, what is this crap?
Yeah. Well,
I'm like, what? He is a grown-ass man, and she is a child. What?
Well, that's pretty much all of them, too. So,
to be fair, yes.
Yeah.
Literally the only character I love in Romeo and Juliet is Mercutio.
I don't even think I like any of them. So
that's just because I really wanted to play Mercutio and die on stage. I wanted the Queen Mab speech.
Oh yeah. I think what I liked their stories, even though they're Shakespeare inspired, they like deconstruct them and kind of are like, these are the problems with those stories, but they can still be relevant. So I don't know. I really like the first one. I wish that they would do a Much Ado About Nothing one, because that is the ultimate hate to love. I need it.
That would be awesome to see, especially with the way that they do characters.
Yes.
I'm excited for all of them that they have coming out next year.
Oh yeah, they're so cool. I was looking on Goodreads before the live show, and I was like, there's so many good ones. And I was going to ask about the roughest draft being adult, because it's about authors. So I was like, they're probably not in high school if they're authors. So
I just really need that anthology now.
Yes, I didn't even know that was coming out.
They wrote a story over my favorite Shakespeare play. I need that now.
Yeah.
Like
now. Oreos.
Yeah, I'm eating Oreos. We mentioned them in the last show, so I need them.
He's like, what flavor are you eating? He's eating Oreos, and I'm jealous. I'm not eating Oreos.
I don't have any Oreos because my Walmart only had coconut.
I think I actually have Oreos here in the house, but I'm not eating them because
They are my ultimate weakness. So
I'm trying to get tiny like Allie.
I'm just a weedle tiny person.
I used to be a little tiny person, and then I got to be not such a little tiny person, and now I'm working on becoming little tiny person again.
People just think I'm 12 most of the time. So
I've learned just to embrace the fact that I'm fat as heck. So
all bodies are beautiful bodies.
yes, I'm like the boyfriend doesn't complain, so why complain?
Now she wants some Girl Scout cookies. I love when Allie looks at the ladder in defeat. LOL. Your TBR.
Oh, well, the ladder is now converted to my red books because my TBR got too big, and it has moved to its own cart that is 3 tiers deep. So, yeah.
My cart, the little metal cart, I had all of my arcs, which were way too many arcs on that, which I've now had to like take some off because my top one broke because I had too many.
Oh dear gosh.
Lord, women.
Legs, like the legs were here, and the top one just broke. It couldn't withstand the weight of all the arcs that I had. Yeah. That's what I knew. It was like I had to take all of the past arcs that I haven't gotten to off, and now it's just got new ones.
See, that's why I have this tiny shelf over here in the corner, but literally all the books that are on it are the ones that people have sent me. Or like I have won in giveaways, or like Mel sent me for Christmas or my birthday. And it's to literally for me to remember to actually give them a chance and actually read them. Because I forget that I have them on my shelves until like I randomly come across it. I was like, oh, I should have added that to my TBR, but
Yeah, I tried to do the new monthly reading vlogs where I read my arcs because before I wasn't reading them, and then publishing houses weren't sending them to me because I was not reading them. I was like, I get you, but I don't like it.
oh Lord.
So
Mel, they asked you a hard question.
Book outlet orders. I mean, book outlet.
I mean, you are technically allergic to cats, so.
I am allergic to cats. They kill me. It's like, it's torture. I love them, and I'm a sucker for them, and that's why I still have them, but I'm very allergic to them.
I am too. I'm allergic to dogs and cats, pretty sure. Will that stop me from hoarding animals? Probably not.
Same.
Yeah, I'm just allergic to my
But I'm not allergic to books and saving money and buying books cheap. So book outlet.
I mean, as long as what doesn't happen to you like it did in Japan to that one couple who all had that one living room full of books, and they died because it was all like old books and like the whatever they used in the pages. Can't think of the chemical, like leaked into the air. And they got carbon monoxide poisoning.
What?
But they were like in a tiny apartment, and it was like wall to ceiling, and there was like no furniture.
Crazy. Do what?
There's a question for you. Do you ever miss your old place leaking on your head?
No. Well, okay, so I miss the ambience of my old place because it was very cozy and I had made it my own and it was kind of artsy. And then coming home with my leaking all the time and then my ceiling caving in was, really, really fun. So no, don't miss that at all. I miss the ambience a little because now my house is mostly monotone. Everything's gray, white, or black, except for these. And then that's pretty much it. So
I don't know if you can see my wall. What, there you can. A little bit. Wait, hold on. My walls are pink.
I just painted this whole room.
Pretty much.
So I just painted everything in here white because before it was a dark gray and it was so dark in here all the time. So I just painted, and I had to paint behind the bookshelves. So I had to take all the books off and paint behind them. And I was like, oh, I'll just swipe it across here. 3 days later, I was like, this is awful. I'm never doing this again. So they're white for life now.
Like, I'm just going to state something because I'm sitting in the middle. I love the fact that both y'all have white shelves and all you see behind me is black shelves.
I used to want black shelves so bad because all my furniture in my house was black. But
Same.
after seeing books on white shelves, I was like, I guess I'm stuck with white shelves now.
See, I have these two little white shelves, one in that corner and then one over here, that I used to have stacked together, and I was like, oh, I'm going to do a black, white, black, white, black, white.
Mm-hmm.
But then I went and bought a new black shelf because I didn't have any white ones, and I just needed a new shelf, and I can't see anything else but my black shelves.
Yeah.
Because it's all I've ever had, and the books just don't look right on the white shelves.
Well, Jesse the Reader has black shelves, and his are awesome, so.
I don't think I could do black shelves just because there's so many of them. I have 12 bookshelves, and that would be a lot of black in this room. Plus, the white goes really cute with my pink walls.
Well, see, that works for your aesthetic. For me, I like the fact that everything's black, but all the color is coming from the books.
Yeah.
Like, the white to me is still a bright color, so like the dark color brings out like all like the brightness.
Nerdy Birdie has a comment for you, Clint.
The girls are overshadowing you. See, I had colored hair at one point. It was purple. It's been blue and purple. It's just, I need a new job. And so we're just stuck with natural hair color until that happens, until after all this Corona crap happens, and I can get a second job or a better job. So
sometimes I just want to be like, it's 2020. Why do people still care about hair color?
Mm-hmm.
I think hair color is just so much fun.
Right?
Like, and it is easy, and like you don't have to do massive damage to your hair in order to do it nowadays. Like you used to have to do massive damage, but now like this is washed, like not washed in, but like almost like a hair mask, and it just washes away after a while. It's like I need to touch it up because my green is starting to come through.
Because I work at a place where we sell hair care products to professional hairstylists, it's like I feel like I need colored hair, but I'm like, I need a second job. I need more money because I want my own place. Or convince the boyfriend and me to move in together eventually.
Face finds something about tattoos. Like, I want another tattoo.
This arm. Yeah. The last place that I worked was a hospital. And they were very strict about everything. I had to wear sleeves all the time. I would dye my hair, and I got written up so many times. Like, they threatened to fire me, even though I was the only person who knew every position in the department. And they were like, we're going to have to fire you because your hair is not natural. And I'm like, everyone in here dyes their hair just because it's a natural color that makes it okay. Like, I don't understand. This doesn't affect my ability to do the job.
My daughter, she worked at Arby's. She doesn't work there now, but when she worked at Arby's, even at Arby's, they required natural hair color. So she couldn't do it, like, and she didn't go like my kind of crazy. She did like a red that's not a natural red, like, or maybe a more burgundy color or something. And they wouldn't allow. They were like, no, it has to be a natural color. I'm like, for fast food, really?
Even Walmart used to require it had to be a natural hair color. Now they're more lenient with, as long as it's in the shades of red. You can have pink hair now because it's a shade of red, but you can't have like blues or greens or anything like that. But it has to be like a shade of red, which is, I think, it's just stupid.
I could just say I was in a swimming pool, so.
Work.
I have had some blonde hair turn green in a swimming pool, but never that color.
No, it's always really ugly and really hard.
Yeah, it is like, and oh my gosh, I remember.
Wow, that scared me.
I
I
got
forgot
into
my
a swimming
TV was
pool,
on.
and my hair had just been. I had just done my hair like super light blonde. Got in a swimming pool. Apparently, they had just shocked the pool. My hair was like grass green afterwards. And then my friend, she was like trying to help me wash it out of my hair, and we used vinegar and all this stuff trying to get the green out of my hair. And I was like, man, I smell like a salad afterwards. And so she sprays me with all this perfume and stuff, and I'm like, now I smell like a French host salad. But I still had green hair. And then I pulled my hair into like a scrunchie that had been in the bottom of my purse. And so I had this green hair pulled back in a scrunchie. This was in the time when people didn't have green hair on their own.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently there was a pen that had leaked ink all in my bag, and it had absorbed into this scrunchie. And so I had this scrunchie in my hair, and then somebody sprayed me with a water hose, and it hit the back of my head. And all the ink that was in that scrunchie went down my ponytail. So this part of my hair was green, and the rest of my hair was green and black and blue streaks. I went to Sally's, and I had my hair like all hidden, and I was like, I need something to get color out. And she's like, well, what's your issue? And I was like, this. And she's like, oh my God, what'd you do?
I was just trying to have a fun day at the pool.
It was bad. But I don't even remember what it was, but she gave me this stuff, washed in my hair, and it took it all out. And I was like, oh, miracle stuff.
Was it a packet?
I don't know. It wasn't like lightning stuff. It was like some kind of shampoo or something. It's probably like the purple shampoo people use now.
Probably.
But this was like a billion years ago, like 20 years ago, no, more than 20 years ago. So yeah, green, black, and blue hair was not normal. It was not a normal thing then.
I was gonna say green hair really hasn't come in until like the past like 3 years. No one ever dyed their hair green before.
Yeah. I've let's see, until the blue, I had green for probably over a year, maybe. And I think
You did.
yeah, maybe it wasn't quite a year, because when we went to BEA and BookCon, I had the purple, pink, and orange hair.
Someone asked me what mug I have today.
A good day is ahead. First coffee.
Here's my mug.
I also have a skull cup.
And this.
So
I'll just stick with my rainbow Snoopy.
Question for Clint. Put that up there.
What do I think of the rigor mortis? It's rigged. Go away. Mad. Rock should not have gone home. I'm still pissed about that. And I'm still mad that Sherry's a horrible person because she's my ideal type of drag queen.
I've never read anything.
I have never watched all my life.
And then with last night's episode, those are not capes. That's all I got to say on that.
They're not what?
Capes?
For the runway, they wanted capes over capes over capes over capes. Tell me why people just put like fabric on their back or like little short capes. I'm like, where's the dramatic capes? Where's like the Queen Elizabeth, where the cape like trains like 12 feet behind you? Or where's the Cruella de Vil actually got the Dalmatians and like made the gigantic cape she wanted? I'm like, ugh.
I watched
Unfortunately, not in the US at least. It is in the UK.
Next in Fashion on Netflix, and all my favorite outfits had capes.
Yes.
Like, I need them all. I need anything with a cape, apparently.
Well,
Can we bring those into normal fashion?
Yes. It's like, see, as a drag queen, I like the campier the outfit, the more like something you would wear to the Met Gala. Like, give me what Billy Porter wore to the Met Gala with that gigantic caped wing. Like, that was not capes. I'm still irritated by that. I watched that this morning, so it's a little fresh on the brain.
I'm on a story watching the live show with my favorite author duo on. It was us.
Wait, what?
Oh, hold on. Yeah, it was us on the live show.
Oh,
Sweet.
so my readathon has ended mostly because of Animal Crossing. Is anyone else playing?
I've only had it for, I think today's the fourth day, fourth or fifth day of me having it, and yeah, I'm obsessed. Like,
I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever played, and I can't stop playing. I'm just going around catching freaking butterflies and collecting oranges all day.
I have
Like,
apples.
I
See,
want
I
to
don't-
have like everything now, but I was just like, what am I doing with my life?
See, I don't have a Nintendo Switch, or I would probably have gotten sucked into the Animal Crossing.
Well,
I have my Nintendo for my Pokemon.
Oh yeah. So I did not have a Switch either, but everyone was talking about it, and I get severe FOMO, big time. So I was like, I'm gonna go out and find me a Switch, damn it, if it's the last thing I do.
See, you have FOMO. I have the opposite of FOMO. I'm like, I'll let you guys do everything, and I'll just live off of what you guys do.
Yes, I have it right here.
Yes.
Have you read it yet?
Not yet.
I think I requested an arc and I was denied because I'm denied all arcs.
I got it at Y'all Fest. So I've had it since November.
So,
but I'm gonna read it. Well, I don't know. I'll read it soon.
Sorry, someone mentioned an Eevee Pikachu Switch, and I was just like, I'll just grab my Eevee. I have a Alola Vulpix somewhere around here.
is that your favorite Eevee evolution?
Yes.
Vulpix?
Well, no. Vulpix isn't Eevee evolution.
Oh no, never mind.
Well, Eevee is my favorite evolution of Eevee because Eevee can become whatever Eevee wants to become.
Yeah.
And that's
I'm trying to think. The only one I know is Umbreon because that one's my favorite.
Umbreon, Espeon, Vaporeon, Jolteon, Leafeon, Glaceon, Flareon.
Good lord.
And Sylveon. There we go. I was like, what is the fairy one? What is the gayest looking one called?
I can picture them all, but I don't know their names.
If you can't tell, I'm like a huge nerd. So.
Well, Pokemon was my favorite show growing up. Mm-hmm. I had a Pikachu alarm clock that I made go off right before the show started, and I would make the whole family like gather around and watch it with me. My dad was real into it, so.
I had a Squirtle alarm clock, so I feel you.
Yeah, and it would go Pika, 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 like for however long you let it go.
You, Allie.
Oh, okay. Well, there's one coming out next month, and it is Best Laid Plans. I just read that, and it was really good. Of course.
I bet it will.
It might. Let me just find them. It might be easier to find them.
I know the question wasn't asked of me, but here's my answer.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just finished, of course, if I'm being honest, that was good. Best Laid Plans was really good. It's about a girl who tries to convince her best friend to sleep with her because she doesn't want to be a virgin anymore. Ramona Blue.
That's in my head.
It's probably one of my all-time favorites. So if you haven't read that, get on that.
This book is fabulous.
I haven't read that one, so now I feel like I have to.
Or if you want to get technical, I'll throw in the other two.
Oh, there's.
But that's by the same author.
Huh.
This is
Cat Burgling Dragon.
Last Scene Leaving is a YA queer retelling of Gone Girl.
Oh,
But
well,
done right.
I was gonna say I hated Gone Girl.
Die. And this is just fucked up.
Well, I like fucked up. So
And this
It's
they're
drag queens.
a gang of drag queen cat burglars.
Everyone needs this author in their life.
And there's so much stuff in this book. Like, oh my gosh.
I'll
This will
have
make
to add it to my list.
make you laugh, make you cry, make you gasp.
Or another one that could.
I'm trying to think.
School for Con artists.
I did just finish. I finished 10 Blind Dates too, and that was surprisingly really good.
I love that book. I thought it was so cute.
Like I went into it. I went into it kind of just expecting the normal. But it focuses so much more on like the family aspect, and I love that. She has such a large family, and I come from a really large family. So I loved seeing that. And then the dates were so fun because it was like a little bit everything. There were some that were fun. There were some that were goofy. There were some that were disastrous. So I loved seeing all these different dates and how they played out.
Lonnie wants to know what the next tattoo you want to get is, Allie.
Oh, well, I want to get a half sleeve. I don't know which way to go with my camera and do all kinds of things that I just really like. But more specifically, I really want a Six of Crows one with like the cup and the crow. So
I really, really, really want to get this Shadow Hunter one. It's got like it has all this it's got the angel, it's got all kinds of like quotes, and it's gonna be a big one.
Yeah.
When I get it.
I'm getting a stack of books with authors and symbols around it.
Yeah.
Like, I get certain authors that stand out to me that have saved my life.
When I was doing tattoos, it was a much bigger, don't get any tattoos that will show anywhere. So all of my tattoos are like easily covered with wearing a short sleeve shirt. But I have a massive I have a few massive tattoos. I have one that starts.
Oh my God, Kaylee, yes. You're on the perfect series.
My shoulders, all the way across my back, comes around to the front here, and then goes down across the front and down the other leg part of the way. It's like roses. And then I have like most of my back is covered with like a mermaid and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I think the majority of mine are probably covered too. Wow, that is a big piece.
I just have Survivor with the semicolon for the eye.
Yeah.
Right here.
Mm-hmm.
For suicide prevention.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Hailey says she's reading Clockwork Angel, and Megan is reading Clockwork Prince. I love the Infernal Devices.
Perfect trilogy with the perfect love triangle ever.
Yeah, those are the best ones that she's written.
I haven't continued on yet because I'm scared to.
Well, I am curious how Chain of Gold is going to be because it's kind of like after the events of Infernal Device.
I'm curious for that too.
I think what it is I really love 1800s demon hunters specifically. Like they have to take place during that time period for me to really enjoy them. Because her newer ones, I don't like.
See, I want to try Lady Midnight, but I'm scared because I cannot stand Clary and Jace. Like, those 6 books drove me nuts. Like, and then Lady Midnight, I'm just afraid that the main character of Lady Midnight is going to remind me of Clary.
No.
Well, so I don't like Clary and Jace, but I hated Emma and whatever his name is.
Julian.
Yeah, I can't stand it.
Terrell, to answer your question, they said that it's not based off of Shakespeare, that it's based off of their own personal experiences, plus with some liberties that they took with it. But apparently we will see Cameron and Brendan make appearances.
So I started before Emily and Austin joined us for the live show, but a little sneak peek at what I have to read for April. Because my Wheel of TBR showed most of it, but then when I was doing my owls, I had to add even more because not everything would fit.
Mm-hmm. Well, good thing we're social distancing.
Also, I had to order a book, so that's not on this stack. It should be here tomorrow. And I have an audiobook.
She ordered this.
Oh, is it good?
Oh my god, it's amazing.
Only mostly devastated.
It's queer Grease retelling. The movie Grease, but queer.
Well,
More queer than it already is. So far, I do believe this is probably my favorite book of the year so far.
wow.
Just something about it hit me. Well, okay, it's my favorite, not a sequel book of the year. We'll put it that way. Because A Curse So Dark and Lonely is sequel, A Fear So and shattered my heart. So that one's going to probably take the cake in the end. But
I haven't read that series yet, but I've been meaning to.
Oh, good.
It's so good. And I could be biased because my sister, when she was alive, had cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
And Harper has cerebral palsy in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a gay brother.
Okay.
So, like, I connected like hardcore to Harper.
Yeah.
But I'm more of a Gray fan than I am a Ren fan. So this is like another like this is kind of like a Tamlin versus Rhysand debate here.
Gray is our boyfriend. I love Gray.
But is there really a debate with Tamlin and Rhysand? So
no, but
I have not read Tweet Cute, so I don't know. It was I think it was on one of the books I was anticipating for the year, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I haven't been able to find a copy.
I know Chelsea loved it.
So yeah, I think I went to look for it on Scribd, and I think it was unavailable at the time, and I don't think my library had it yet. So, and I don't tend to buy contemporary because I don't tend to ever want to reread them. So
I have it, and I used it as part of my pet pick in my Wheel of TBR, but my pet didn't pick it. So,
No, your pet picked graphic novel, and then what was the other one?
Library of Lost Things, and then the manga Wonderland Volume 2. And
I will get you into more manga, girl. We will find you the perfect manga series.
I'm like, I've only read one manga ever.
I guess I've only read 2, maybe 2.
Yeah, so I'm reading my second one, which is the sequel to the first one.
I think the problem is that I can't, like, I don't know where to look. I don't know where to start.
Okay, I need both y'all to read this series.
Okay.
Toshige Yugi and the Mysterious Play. It's an 18 manga series, but I've got the 3 bind-ups, like, with 3 mangas in it.
There's a used bookstore that I go to, and they always have mangas there. And I'm just like, I don't know what to look at.
This is about a girl who gets trapped into a ancient scroll and ends up having to save the world, and then somehow bounces back to our world and then bounces back when her best friend gets sucked in to be the arch rival. And this is my favorite couple in all of literature.
Okay.
Maka and Tahome. So
is that a manga?
Yeah. It's the first one I've read, and it's well, I thought it was like a Wonderland retelling because Wonderland.
Yeah.
But it's based in Japan, and apparently this whole area of Japan, something happens and everybody becomes tiny in this area of Japan. Not all of Japan, just this one area. And it starts out very gruesome. Like, in the first couple of pages, the main character, Yuku, her parents are massacred by their pet cat, like torn to ribbons. It's a big bloody thing.
Your goodness.
Because apparently the pet cat thinks it's like a toy. Because they're like the size of mice or whatever, so it just shreds the parents.
I don't know if this is the type of energy I want to be reading.
It's awful. Like,
oh dear gosh.
hold on, look.
Well, Terrell,
Hold on. This is what's happening to her poor parents. They're shredded.
okay, the darker a manga goes, the better the manga is, just so you know.
Okay.
Or just fluffy romance. That's
I was
how
going to
they
say,
ended it.
the only thing I've really read is Fruits Basket. But I've only read part of it. Like, I haven't finished it.
I haven't either.
Yeah. And then The Girl from the Other Side, I think is the title. Oh, what exactly do you do? Well, when I worked at a hospital, I worked in a hospital for 7 years. It was my first job. And I just worked in dietary, but I did all the jobs in dietary. I mostly made sure people had the right diets, and then I had to double check all the trays to make sure that the right foods were on them. And then I delivered them to patients. So I'm really glad that I don't work there right now, because I would have interacted with every single patient in the hospital. Then from there, I actually worked at a college in the writing center. And then now I work at a library. I don't have the title of librarian, but I do all librarian duties. So.
I know, I'm still trying to pick a popular author for that. He's not popular, but he should be. So Caleb Roehrig. But I would actually, no. How about we do this? I would love to see Caleb and Karen McManus write a book together. They have such a good friendship that it would just be cool to see.
Now, see, for Caleb's book, I give 5 stars. Karen Manis's books, I think I gave around 3.
I have given all of her books 5 stars and all of his books 5 stars.
I would love to see just more co-authoring happening.
Yes.
In the world.
Like, can Kristen Simmons and Adriana Mather team up? Like, can we have a November and Bryn crossover?
Because the books remind me of each other's books.
I need a November and Bryn crossover. And yes, I have read Wolf Children. It's freaking amazing. The movie's amazing too. Just yes, everything.
I have no idea.
I don't know what that is either.
Yeah, what is that? Someone let us know what that is. Is that like an anime?
Kira is a former exchange student of mine. She lives in Germany.
Oh, I thought her name sounded familiar because you've mentioned her in a couple of videos.
She lived with me for a year.
The movie will break your heart, Megan. The manga will too.
Oh, Kira says it's a creepy anime.
Well, that's going on the list.
Yeah, this one was I don't know. I enjoyed it, and I'm reading the second one where we're supposed to find out more about this strange Alice character. But I don't know. It's really hard to get into reading in this weird direction. Like from the back. Not only
read right to left, you read the opposite direction than you would normally read.
Yeah, not only is it back to front, but it's also like right to left instead of left to right. And that throws me too. My eyes are going all over the place when I'm trying to read it because I'll read this page and then I'll read this page and then I'll try to go back to reading this page and I'm like, wait, I have to flip.
Yeah, you just start right here, you go to here, you come down, and you go over. It's really not that hard, but then again, I've been reading manga since like I was 13, so.
It normally takes me a page or two to get used to it, and then I'm fine.
Author collaborations are the best thing that happened to book genres right now. Yeah, it's fun. It's
I can't think of very many off the top of my head.
It's interesting when you see like I know I'm Not Dying With You Tonight.
Yes, I read that. Yeah.
There's an author duo. I haven't read it yet, but an author duo.
Yeah, I have that too.
I haven't read it yet.
I only got it literally because of Jessica being in our live show for that book.
Okay.
That was also really, really good.
So I picked this up when she said Les Mis in space, and I was like, yes, please. I just didn't realize
that it's massive. Yeah.
The sequel is massive. I've got the sequel too.
Mine's on the very bottom of the shelf. I'm not even bothering.
Okay. How about we make a game out of it? Who do you think? Oh, hold on. Favorite Jane Austen YA retelling, least favorite Jane Austen YA retelling. I haven't read any Jane Austen YA retellings that I know of.
I read Pride by Eddie's a Boy, and that was pretty good. I'm not a Prejudice fan. I know that's like not a popular opinion, but I really don't like Pride and Prejudice.
I have not even read any.
Pride and Prejudice meets football.
But I did enjoy Pride, and there's a mother-daughter book club one that's sort of a retelling. It's Wish You Were Wish You Were Here, something like that. So Jane Eyre or Eyre, or however you say it.
I don't think I have any others.
I don't know that there's a retelling that I don't like. I haven't read a whole lot. My favorite Austen retelling movie is Clueless.
Yes. Everything Clueless, please. Because as if.
I love Clueless.
I will be of unpopular opinion there.
You don't like Clueless?
I grew up with that movie, and I think that was my way of sneakily watching something that I knew boys aren't supposed to watch.
Yeah.
Because we're supposed to like girls and go do macho things. And my little gay ass over here was like, Clueless. Oh my God.
Okay, when Clueless came out, I was 15. So it was like the perfect time for me to watch Clueless. So yeah, I was obsessed.
I think just watching it, I didn't watch it until like way later in life. I might have been 20 by the time I watched it. And I just remember thinking, that's her brother. But it's not her brother. But in my mind, I was like, that's her brother. But I always had step siblings, and they were just my brothers and sisters. So I was like, that's their, I don't know about that. So I think that's my biggest thing with it. Like, I just can't.
Yeah, I get that. There's a YA book that I recently hauled that's, I can't for the life of me think of what it's called, but
it just makes me think of really bad Pornhub categories that are all just yeah.
I like to dive into some of those just because of the storylines to make fun of them.
Like, you just can't. Oh yeah.
The most unrealistic ones are usually the funniest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just it may not have aged well as far as, you know, people being able to watch it and totally, you know, getting on board and like, I don't know, imagining themselves in these roles or whatever. Because it was it was a 90s movie. But.
It's definitely got a cult following behind it. So, I mean, you still see those fashion icons all the time. I think Dolls still puts out like a line every year.
I mean, Iggy Azalea is fancy.
Yes.
Fancy music video.
Yeah. I mean, it's up there with Mean Girls. You have to put them together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Very much like Mean Girl. Perfect comparison.
Yeah.
Do you like Mean Girls, Allie?
Oh yeah, Mean Girls is my jam.
Oh, well, duh. I've seen your burn books. Never mind.
Yeah.
I knew the answer to that. I'm an idiot.
Yes. And also, Lindsay Lohan, still to this day, is one of my celebrity crushes. Like, I don't care what's happening in her life, but still to this day. I watched Teenage Drama Queen yesterday, which is an absolutely terrible movie. But I was just like, look at Lindsay Lohan beside Megan. Oh God, what's her last name? Megan Fox. Is it Megan Fox?
Yes.
Beside each other, I was just like, this is the best thing ever, right here.
So
she's the main. That was a fun movie. Amanda Bynes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Back in her heyday.
She went a little bit crazier than Lindsay did.
When I like people that they go a little off the rails, or
there is a song,
and then Lindsay, and then Amanda. They all just lost it for a while.
There's a song sung by 3 drag queens that is a parody of Blurred Lines.
Oh God!
By what's his bucket?
Yeah,
and I can't think of his name.
Robin Thicke.
Yeah, Robin. I was like, it's Rob something.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's on The Masked Singer, unfortunately. So
I actually like him as a person. I just don't like his music.
No,
but they do Blurred Bynes, and it's all about Amanda Bynes.
Oh
and
gosh,
it's the funniest shit ever.
She has a heart tattooed on her face now.
I know.
Hold on, I'm gonna look this up.
I don't even know like where that came from.
Oh God, Kira, I just watched Hairspray a couple days ago too with the boyfriend.
Oh God. Oh, I loved Hairspray when it came out. That was great.
Oh, why?
I'm not for any Zac Efron, so
yeah.
I've loved Zac Efron since Summerland.
For what it looks like, besides a heart on her face, I swear it looks like she's got fake lashes, but they're not on top; they're on the bottom.
She's had some interesting choices over the years. Yes,
she is wearing fake lashes on the bottom.
It doesn't look like she's got any lashes on the top, but she's got them on the bottom.
I have no idea. It could be because Disney Channel like pushes their people to be so like strict.
Yeah, and I feel like they will get those rebellious teen years or whatever. Because in some way, teenagers rebel at some point over something. It could be something small, but they get these like little things. But whenever you're constantly in the spotlight and put into this mold, and then once you're out of that contract, I guess it's just like, I get to do all the things. Like, give me the drugs, give me the tattoos. I want it all. Like,
all the things.
I wish they would have done it a little bit more like the Jonas Brothers did when they just ripped off their purity rings. That's all they really did. They didn't go crazy. They were just like, no more purity rings. I want to go have sex.
They were like, man, this is stupid. Why did we ever agree to this? We're surrounded by A-list celebrities.
I love that. Kira has a picture of Zac Efron in her bathroom covering a light fixture. That's amazing.
But which is Zac Efron? Like which phase?
Which phase?
Personally, I'm a fan of the blonde hair phase. Also, have you seen That Awkward Moment?
Yes, that's one of my favorite movies.
Yes, I love him in that.
The funniest scene. Oh, she says just a sexy one. I was like, that narrows it down to all of him.
Yeah, I don't. Which one?
Freaking. My personal fave is still going to be Summerland. Back in the day, it was this weird TV show.
I remember Summerland.
Jesse McCartney, Zac Efron, Aunt Becky from Full House played the mom. And you had one of the Panabaker sisters, the older one. I can't remember which one's older. Is it Kate? That's the older one.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's when I found my sexuality, was because I had to pick between Jesse McCartney and Zac Efron.
Oh, Jesse McCartney.
Oh yeah, here's a picture of the cast.
Have you seen his recent music? Like he went from singing like "Beautiful Soul" and now he's like, "Use a sexy bitch." Like,
yes. Like, what the fuck, Jesse?
I was like, well, it's like when you're trying to impress the girl, and then once you got the girl.
He was, before Summerland, he was on a soap opera. He was on.
Oh, he was on.
Was it All My Children?
I think so. No.
It was either All My Children, General Hospital, or One Life to Live.
It was One Life to Live.
He was Junior, JR.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember, because this was a long time ago, he was a little bitty kid then. Mm-hmm. And he went from being this little bitty kid to this 20, he was maybe possibly 15 to being like this 20-year-old. And I'm like, what happened? Because they switched people. And I was like, why is he an adult all of a sudden?
Yeah, it was like one day he was 15, the next day he was 20. And we're like, what? Whoa, what?
Yeah. Well, that was like Last Man Standing replaced one of their actresses, and she was like this short brunette, like long-haired brunette, and they replaced her with this like 7-foot model short hair blonde, and we're just like, this seems like a good swap. They're the same person. I was like, oh, what?
Terrell, we love you long time right now. With this all Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Ricky Martin. You know my middle school.
Yeah.
I was the biggest boy band fan. I still am.
That was my.
It is All My Children then. Terrell corrected us. It is All My Children. You were right.
I knew he was Adam Sandler's son. JR.
Yeah. Now I'm just singing Backstreet Boys in my head.
I was more of a Panic at the Disco, Fall Out Boy, My Chemical Romance,
See, that was
Green Day.
That was my high school days.
Oh, that was my middle school.
Okay, how old are you, by the way?
I'm 26.
Okay, so we do have 4 years difference.
So,
okay. We have 4 years difference then. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I have a lot more years difference.
I turned 30 this year, so. And Mel turns 21, so don't let her lie to you.
Don't we all? Aren't we all turning 21?
Yeah, no. Done with my 20s.
Almost done with your 30s.
My 30s.
Do we have an all-time favorite fairy tale retelling book?
Hold on.
Oh, I mean, I guess an automatic favorite is the Lunar Chronicles for me. I love the Lunar Chronicles. I really like Girls Made of Snow and Glass because it focuses more on female relationships, like friendship and family and things like that, more than anything.
We've already said it, but I have to not name it.
I do love that, but I also really love this.
I feel like I have another one. Oh.
This says, after 10 years of being told she can't tell the difference between real life and fairy tale, Alice finally stops believing in Wonderland. So when the White Rabbit shows up at her house, Alice thinks she's going crazy. Only when the White Rabbit kicks her down the rabbit hole does Alice realize that the magical land she visited as a child is real. But all is not well in Wonderland. The Ace of Spades has taken over Wonderland and is systematically dismantling all that makes it wonderful. Plain is replacing wondrous, logical is replacing magical, and reason is destroying madness. Alice decides she must help the Mad Hatter and all those fighting to keep Wonderland wonderful. But how can she face such danger when she is just a girl? Alice must journey across the stars to unite an army. She discovers that fairy tales are real in the magical world beyond the rabbit hole, but they are not the fairy tales she knows. Fairy tales have dancers and adventures of their own. And Alice must overcome the trials of these old stories if she wants to unite the lands against Ace. With the help of Peter Pan, Pinocchio, Snow White, and heroes old and new, Alice may have the strength to take back Wonderland.
That was the longest synopsis of all time.
But it is so much fun.
And I have to agree with Terrell. She's over here saying, for me, 1996 and 1997 were the years music changed dramatically, from the deaths of Tupac and Biggie Smalls to the rise of the Spice Girls. I came and never looked back. I mean, Spice Girls did dictate who I am today, so.
That was also, I think, the rise of more of that, like, pop. Mm-hmm. More pop coming into play, whereas before it was more of that grungy rock and roll, grungy hip hop. Mm-hmm. Whereas now we're getting
basically it was like that was the heyday of Salt and Pepper, TLC, stuff like that, and then you got more Spice Girls, which brought in Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, and then we slowly just went into emo music.
Yeah.
Which is where we just all stayed.
Well, then I think because after pop came in, now we have like everything. I feel like now is a mixture of pop and something else. So you have pop and rock, you have pop and hip hop, you got pop and emo, and they're all kind of.
You missed it, Mel. While you were reading the synopsis, Allie's cat like entered the scene and just sat there with his button.
It literally looked like I was just eating my cat's ass. So.
Pretty much.
Like it was just perched perfectly right here.
Yeah, Little Red Riding Hood is like an arms dealer.
Oh. I will say, I read a dystopian. It was a really loosely based Red Riding Hood, and it was really good. I can't think of what that was called.
I heard this from a friend recently, and I do think Mel would really love this, but you might like it too, Allie.
What is it?
Is Indexing.
Indexing.
By Sean and McGuire.
Oh, okay.
It is basically where the storybook is alive, and it's relating everyone's story, like everyone's lives and stuff, and you get trapped in these stories. And
so, like a dark Once Upon a Time?
Set in our world with an FBI kind of group. What are they called? The ATI's Management Bureau, which are hunting down these people because if they complete their stories, people die.
Oh.
Like, main is a Snow White. Then you've got a wicked stepsister for one of the coworkers. You've got a Pied Piper. You have Mother Goose. You have all these like weird things. And each chapter starts off with, in the starting of a chapter, you have like attractive narcolepsy about Snow White. You have like a Cinderella story somewhere in here, a frog prince, the fox's tongue for the fox and the cat. It is such a weird book.
It sounds like it.
I need to buy my own copy so I can give this back to him. And get me the second one because I need to know what happened.
Yes.
Oh my God, Hansons. Yes, they're from Oklahoma, and I've actually been by their house.
But
I'm not a stalker at all.
You put it on my. There's like no sense at all in that song.
But it's the greatest song of all time. Or no, it's
oh my gosh! Yes. Once Upon a Time, I love that show.
I haven't watched the final season. I think I stopped right after Frozen was introduced because it kind of went. No, was Hades after Frozen or was it before Frozen?
Listen, the whole show was a clusterfuck, and it was awesome. And weird, and sometimes I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna keep watching. I didn't watch the last season though because no.
I wish I kind of wish Regina would have got her happy ending instead of Robin Hood dying. That's all that my comments to the show is I was kind of mad that she didn't get a happy ending in the end.
Oh my god, as far as the beginning part of
think-
the frozen season. And then I stopped watching TV altogether pretty much. So.
Yeah, that's literally the only show. Now, I don't consider the final season of that like part of the show because it essentially restarted. So that is the only show that I've really watched to completion, like ever.
Because didn't Henry end up dating like Snow White or something like in the trailers? Or something like a completely different version of those characters, and I'm just like, what is this?
It was bizarre. Like he becomes Emma, I think, essentially.
Yeah.
Like I watched the first episode and I was like, I just watched all these seasons. We are not restarting this. I can't do it again.
My heart cannot take it.
I was like, do you know how long I had the wiki app for it on my phone because I was getting so confused who was related to who and who was with who and what was what.
God, yeah.
And I was like, it took me so long to connect all those things that I was not restarting over. I could not.
That's funny.
I got to agree with Terrell and Faye here on the whole that nobody knows who Britney Spears, Elvis, or the Beatles are these days because all we've got is like people like Halsey and Billie Eilish and Lizzo.
I mean, I don't know. I think people still know who they are. Their music just isn't relevant anymore. So
I will be honest here with everybody. I'm not a Beatles fan.
Me neither.
Their music just always seemed too slow for me.
Well, I don't know. Like I like the Beatles music so much better when the Beatles aren't singing it. So yeah, like anyone else can do it and I'm fine with it. So
universe.
Like, yeah, those were all great songs when someone else was singing them. It's just I don't like any of the Beatles singing the Beatles. So I don't know. I think everyone still knows who they are. Those are pretty big names. It's just that they're not just relevant right now. Just in the same case as in 10 years, no one's really going to know Billie Eilish, Lizzo, or Halsey, technically.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Trends.
The thing
Cher
about
has been relevant for over 50 years. I will state that.
Who?
I will agree with Terrell on Cher.
Oh, yeah.
Well, because that's because you got the gay community keeping her alive.
Well, I think it's
Madonna deflated because Madonna tried to be something she's not.
I think Madonna tried to be 20 when she was in her 60s. That was the problem.
I remember her coming out with music in the early 2000s and being like, what? Like, what are you're trying to be Britney right now.
Kind of like when she popped
She
out
was
with
trying to be like 40 years younger than she was.
She popped out that song with Nicki Minaj, like, bitch, I'm Madonna, bitch, I'm Madonna. I'm like, we get it, you're Madonna. Shut up. Go away.
No one cares about you anymore.
I love Madonna, but I love her older music.
Well, that's the thing. I think so many of them don't try to stay true, and then they'll try to keep up with the trends, but they go too deep into it to the point where it's unauthentic.
Well, we have two good examples of that are completely on opposite spectrums of it. Panic at the Disco, Brendan Urie changed his sound to stay current. And it's still true to himself. Panic at the Disco.
Well, I still think it's very still like original Panic at the Disco when you
it's also still got a lot of elements that we like in today's music adding to it. But then you've got people like Backstreet Boys who came back with an album with only 2 hits off of it because they tried to be relevant and it just did not work out. Yeah. They tried to be One Direction when they're not One Direction.
Yeah. That and grown men singing about like boy band songs, it doesn't really work out.
It really doesn't. Like, Backstreet Boys will always have my heart and all, but boys, no.
I went to this concert in New York, and we did. Who was it? it was New Kids on the Block, TLC, and Nelly. So it was very much like a 90s kind of thing.
I was going to say, I don't think any of that is relevant today.
It was funny because I was like, the people that I was expecting to like the most, and the people I expected to like the least, the whole thing was flipped around.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
TLC, number 1. New Kids on the Block would be number 2, just for nostalgia's sake, because I was a kid with that when that came out, like a little kid. And then there's Nelly, and I was like, off the top of my head, I couldn't think of any Nelly. And then we get there, and I'm like, I knew every single one of Nelly's songs, and I was like rocking out. I was like singing and dancing, and I knew every single one of them. New Kids on the Block was entertaining. I mean, they put on a ridiculous show because the singing is, but they put on a great show, like fireworks and all that. And then TLC was just kind of like, it was just sad.
You can't do TLC without Left Eye, though. It's just not the same.
They had her part. They didn't replace her with anybody, and they didn't cut her part. They actually had the video of her performing.
Aww.
So anytime it was her part, she was there performing on video. And so it was just kind of sad. But I knew all the songs and I loved them, but it was still like, I couldn't get into it as much. But I was like, I didn't realize I loved Nelly.
That's how I felt about every music festival I've ever gone to. The people that I'm most excited for it's like a swap. Like we went one time and we saw all these people, and Coldplay, who I was least looking forward to, ended up being like the best performance of my life. I was like, who would have thought that I would have left here a Coldplay stan? Not me. So I was like, what?
I've never been to a festival, and I've only ever been to 3 concerts in my life.
Oh dear goodness.
Wow.
Panic at the Disco, Muse, and then Eric Church. Eric Church was my first concert.
I guess make them good ones.
Honestly, I do not think. Okay, I like Panic at the Disco.
Oh, and Pink. I've been to 4. Sorry, I've been to Pink. Sorry, I forgot about Pink. What the hell?
Pink was my first favorite true love.
I really like Panic at the Disco. However, I don't think I could sit through an entire full-length concert of Panic at the Disco by themselves, because Brendan Urie, he gets those really, really high things, but he does it constantly in the shows. Because I saw him at Midtown Music Festival, and it was like a third of what he was doing was the just making these long high notes, and it was just like, okay, the songs are great, but he was like extending all of his high note stuff for like ever. And
see, Panic at the Disco is the gayest concert I've ever seen. When you had the person who opened up for his opener was gay and doing some dude named Max that does all of his own stuff by himself and plays all these instruments at the same time. And then you had Haley Kiyoko open, and she lesbian as heck. And I didn't know that I knew her music until she came on stage, and I was like, oh, I know this song. Oh, I know this song. Oh, I know this song. And we kept making jokes that we saw Lemonade Mouth in concert. She was in the movie Lemonade Mouth. And then you've got Panic, and Brendan Urie is pansexual, and there were so many rainbows thrown into the audience, and all of us holding up little cards and stuff, and I just started crying because it was like, this is the gayest thing I've ever seen, and I'm loving it.
Okay, I have seen, here's a random concert. Libba Bray. Yes, the author.
Yeah.
Libba Bray in concert.
Okay, I was like,
yeah.
What?
What?
She is the lead singer in a cover band. Yeah. And she performs stuff like Lady Gaga's Born This Way.
What kind of cover band is this?
She's freaking awesome.
Huh.
Actually, I put clips of that in a video I did. It was like 2 years ago, but yeah.
Then I probably have seen these clips. I need to go back.
She was at Y'all Fest and they performed a concert.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember
and
now.
the other band, they're all authors in this band. Yeah.
I've seen Maggie Stiefvater playing her bagpipes.
Oh.
When she was at the OKTBC, the Oklahoma Teen Book Con.
Interesting.
What year was that?
The weirdest,
2017?
I think the weirdest experience at a concert, I've been to 300 concerts at this point, but the weirdest one, I was front row and it was, I think Rihanna was on stage and Jay-Z and Beyonce and Michael B. Jordan came out and stood in front of me, and then Bill Clinton stood right in front of me and turned around and was just like, hey, nice to meet you, and then turned back around and I was like, the fuck is going on here?
That's random.
Yeah, I was like, this is bizarre. Well, his Secret Service was blocking my view. So then I was just like, I just want to see Rihanna.
See, you have that weird experience. Me at the Eric Church concert, I got mistaken for a lesbian and got hit on by a lesbian at a country concert. I've been mistaken as a lesbian on multiple occasions by drunk lesbians.
Oh,
And I even had one once put her hands down my pants, which I kept telling her not to do it. And I was just like, go ahead, whatever. We'll see what happens. The minute she felt something that wasn't supposed to be there, she screamed and ran out. I tried to tell you I'm a dude. Tried to tell you, but no one listened.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah, y'all got me beat. I've seen a lot of concerts, but nothing that bizarre has happened. I think the Liva Bray in concert was probably the oddest concert type thing.
I was still like, that's baffling, because when you said Liva Bray, I'm like, does it, wait, what?
Yeah, Liva Bray.
It's like, hold up.
Right there, she's right there.
Yeah,
She's somewhere behind the pen. If I could
she's a
find
freaking rock star, man. It was something to see her. Yeah, I've seen I've seen from Billie Eilish and Lizzo and Panic at the Disco, but I've also seen like Slipknot, Korn. I've also seen Aerosmith and Kid Rock and Kiss and Alanis Morissette.
I listened to Under Oath a lot in high school, and my dad would just be like, this is the devil music. You're always listening to the devil music. And they're a Christian screamo band. So I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, this is the devil music.
I used to listen to a band called Lordy, which dressed up as demons. And they were actually originally a Christian hard rock screamo band. And it's like the only screamo music I've ever listened to. I had it playing once, and my mom was like, what the hell are you listening to? Because I had the music video playing, and they all dress up as demons.
Yeah.
To like songs called like Hard Rock Hallelujah or Who's Your Daddy? Bitch, who's your daddy? And if you actually look at the lyrics underneath it, it's actually him saying that he's God and God's our dad or something. It's really fucked up. And I've always talked about possibly doing it in drag and coming out as this possessed female on stage.
I'm just trying to imagine being like, sorry, I can't call you daddy. God is the only daddy in my life. Like,
and Hard Rock Hallelujah is about possessed cheerleaders.
Oh, God. Yep.
And she's the main character, like summon the demons to like possess the cheerleaders and have them kill each other or something. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh my gosh, yes. I remember watching Star Search as a kid.
Oh my god, yes. Oh, but Faye mentions down here Apocalyptica. We stand some Apocalyptica here.
I don't know what that is.
Cellos. Hard rock music with cellos. That's all I gotta say.
I could be into that.
We stand some Apocalyptica.
I could be into that.
We stand some Apocalyptica. Like, that shit's amazing. It's 4 guys who play cellos. And they have songs where it's just music. And then they have songs where they bring in other singers and they actually sing songs. You would recognize a couple of the songs because they were popular.
Kira actually sent me a picture. Yeah, she sent me a picture of Zac Efron.
Oh Lord!
It's this one.
Oh, back in the day.
That is back in High School Musical days.
Yeah, like the third one. The third one.
Yes, I had that poster on my wall at once upon a time. I used to have an entire wall dedicated to him.
I had one of Lady Gaga.
Oh, we stand Lady Gaga.
Just the whole wall was Lady Gaga. I witnessed her for Halloween 3 years in a row.
I used to hate Lady Gaga when she first came out, because when she first came out, I was that gay kid who finally realized I don't have to like every gay icon.
Yeah.
So I was like very much, oh, Cher's disgusting. Gaga, go away. All this stuff's got to go away. Why are you connecting? Hold on.
I was gonna say my watch just started doing weird stuff. Like,
hold on. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna see if someone has Bluetooth going because I have my Bluetooth lamp on and someone's playing music through it.
My watch just started randomly going and was like, "You're running now." I'm not running now. Nope, been sitting here the whole time.
That's funny.
Man, you're blocking my light.
Zac Efron picture just sent it all aflutter.
Yeah, just took everything out of whack.
So I just looked up Apocalyptica on YouTube. Shall we hear what it sounds like?
Sure.
I'll get a copyright.
Oh gosh, just play like 2 seconds.
Apocalyptica.
It almost like very hardcore rocker.
Okay. I'm just going to turn off said lamp because I don't know what happened and I can't find any elements.
Okay, seriously, they're in this room. It has a ceiling that's maybe 6 foot high or maybe even 5 foot high. And so they're standing like this because the ceiling's right here and their head won't fit. I'm like, why are you in this tiny room?
They're like 6'7", and they're all like either brothers or best friends. I can't remember.
So yeah, they're like 6'7" in a room with 6 foot ceilings. So they're like this.
Oh, that's how it happened. Chantel's outside mowing right outside my window, and she has her phone on Bluetooth for her headphones. Okay, that makes sense. Never mind. I was trying to figure out how they connected with my thing, and I'm like, what?
Allie, can you please explain the difference between the YA contemporary and adult romance genres?
So the main difference is normally just the age of the protagonist. Your protagonist in YA tends to be a teenager of some sort, and then adult tends to be, of course, someone who is over the age of normally 20. I say sometimes YA can go up to 20, but beyond that, and adult romance does tend to be a little more steamier, but not necessarily. I read the Unhoneymooners, and I didn't think it was very steamy. But the biggest thing is just the age.
Red, White, and Royal Blue is not that steaming either.
Yeah, no. Yeah, and of course there's the new debate of whether or not there's going to be new adult fiction, which would then be probably between the ages of like 20, 25, 20, 30.
I see YA as like up to like 17 and under, and then new adult as like 18 to maybe 22, 23.
Yeah,
it's after.
It's a new adult is, I guess, that weird age between like you still kind of feel like a teenager, but you're now technically an adult.
It's like college age.
Yeah.
New adult is like college age. YA is high school, and then adult is after college.
Ignore the dogs barking, by the way, because apparently they just went completely cray-cray in the other room.
I can't even hear them, so.
I'm just like, what is going on?
Yeah, the main thing would just be age difference, really. Anything else is whatever.
Also, sometimes it's the topics in a relationship, too.
Yeah. Although I've seen YA broach just as many or as hard topics as adult. And a lot of times adult, I find skims so many things. Like, they're like, oh, here's this tough issue. We're just going to do the surface level. And then you get to YA and it digs deeper. And I always find that middle grade goes the hardest when it comes to really delving into like dark issues. Like middle grade always just does it best for some reason.
And YA does do this whole, like, the difference that I have seen, to expand on what you were saying, is basically you have all these problematic issues in adult romances that you can see in some YA contemporary romances, that the main character in adult romances are like, it's not problematic, whatever. And in YA, they're like, oh, that's a red flag. That is a red flag.
I think YA has really focused more on, like, I don't know, better representation and fixing those wrongs, whereas adult is just like, this is the norm and we're just going to keep going with it. Whereas young adult is like, we need to progress. Mm-hmm. Definitely. It feels like adult can just be kind of stagnant at times. And I feel like I'm reading the same thing over and over again. So.
Yeah, I've noticed YA books have expanded more. Okay, a favorite TV show that sadly got canceled way too soon. Well, off the top of my head, you've got Teen Wolf was canceled too soon, because I felt like there were still things that needed to be wrapped up.
Yeah.
Firefly really got screwed over. Fox screwed over Firefly, hands down. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. AJ and the Queen on Netflix is no longer getting a second season, so it's been canceled way too soon.
Oh, I'm surprised.
I know.
Anytime anybody talks about Teen Wolf, because I've never seen the show, I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. Anytime anybody talks about Teen Wolf, I always think of that movie with Michael Fox.
It's basically they based it off of those. But MTV, I've realized their shows, you thought their shows were going to be stupid, but they got some really good, like, in-depth things with Teen Wolf.
I wish they hadn't canceled Eye Candy.
Oh my God, yes.
That could have been such a good show.
Did either of you ever watch Dollhouse?
Yes.
That was one I thought was canceled too soon. I really love Dollhouse.
I feel like Smash. Smash was canceled too soon. They got 2 seasons, but I felt like they rushed that last episode.
Genre do you prefer? Probably historical romance. There is something about tension between showing your ankle that just gets me. The fact that you have to cover everything and he sees an ankle and he's like, oh dear, an ankle. I just live for that. I love it.
So the opposite. I'm not a fan of historical romance. It's just way too cheesy for me.
It depends.
Romance has to be done a right way. It has to be similar to, like, either like Diviners with like a paranormal thing added to it, or has to be like a mystery aspect added to it, like with Stalking Jack the Ripper as examples.
The Dark Days Club is my favorite because it's 1800s demon hunters and just the scandalousness of it all.
3 of them to read.
Do what?
So I just recently got them.
Oh, okay. Well, you're going to want to binge them because the beginning of it's a little slow, but then you really get into it and then you just can't stop. It's so good.
Good to
very
know.
Very much the, oh dear, there's an ankle. I'm horny. Like,
oh, Kylie, I got you here, girl. I got you here. I know YA thriller lately.
Sadie is probably my favorite. I really loved Sadie.
Death of Her Blondes. Love that. I screamed that book from the rooftops. It's so good.
Yeah, Sadie.
The Deceivers is a really good one too.
Oh, also, I don't have the first one in here because the roommate's borrowing it, but Truly Devious is a good show.
Oh, I enjoyed Truly Devious, but I never felt the need to continue on.
I enjoyed them. They got better and better. The last one kind of reminded me of ACOWAR, where it kind of disappointed me a little bit, but that's only because I solved one of the mysteries way too soon, and I did it as a joke, thinking it wouldn't have done that, and it did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind historical books, like historical fiction. It's the historical romance that usually kills me because it's out of the horny over an ankle kind of thing.
I live for it.
And some of the sayings that they say kill me, and I'm just like, no, just no.
But you've got to think about it in an Infernal Devices kind of a way.
Yeah.
Which popular trope do you prefer better? Enemies to lovers or fake relationships? Ooh,
Enemies to lovers.
That's a good one. I like them both.
I can't stand a fake. This whole fake dating thing irritates the fuck out of me sometimes. The only book I know that has done that right is All the Boys I Loved Before. Dating like just irritates me because I'm like, y'all are going to end up together, and I just need y'all to admit it.
Now, I have found that a lot of books that say that they're fake dating aren't actually fake dating books. So it's really hard to find an actual fake dating book. There's so many that like they hang out with someone in order to make someone jealous, but it's not like real fake dating.
Like pretty much like To All the Boys I Loved Before is the only like true fake dating.
Yeah, like that's the only one. Most of them just kind of, they don't ever actually do fake dating. But in order to do a really good fake dating, it has to be some sort of dislike to love to be a good fake dating.
In movies, but not in books.
Yes.
Yeah, there's also 10 Blind Dates. She is dating.
Well, I don't know if that's not really fake dating though.
Well, I mean, like I'm thinking about the scene where she's putting like the guy is having her put the pictures on Instagram of them and stuff, like they're having this great date.
But I still think that's still like skirting around it, like so many others do. They just kind of skirt it. They don't ever actually delve into a real fake relationship and like what that means for the characters, because going on like one date or doing one thing that's kind of relationship-esque isn't the same as fake dating. And like there's so many things that go into like actual fake dating that they just never get discussed. Like I thought Unhoneymooners was going to be that way.
Another one that was another good fake dating, Fixer Up.
I haven't read that one.
I have it, but I haven't read it.
Because I did not know it was fake dating.
Because they fake to date to make her family happy and to, like, there's like a fake dating trope somewhere in it. I just remember they fake dated.
I like those fake relationship movies too, like Best Friend's Wedding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Pretty much like The Wedding Date.
But I also do enjoy the Enemies to Lovers because that's always fun, because those are always so passionate, like, because it's just like you go from one extreme to the other, and it's just no matter what, so much passion so much passion in hating that person to so much passion
and the banter is always so good. Mm-hmm. I need a good banter to keep me going. Like no matter what, it doesn't matter if they're friends to lovers, whatever. There needs to be some sort of banter between them.
I enjoy the banter in The Hating Game.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching It's a Boy Girl Thing from the 90s.
Mhm.
This morning, while I was cleaning up my room and getting ready for the live show, it's where the girl and the guy end up arguing in front of a statue because they hate each other and they swap bodies.
Yeah. It's been a really long time since I've seen that.
But that's like the perfect like enemies to lovers, like epitome of what I love. What tropes do we wish were used more often?
Real fake dating.
I say a school in the middle of nowhere.
A paranormal school at that.
Yeah, I kind of like the school in the middle of nowhere that nobody really knows about, but it's like
Super elite.
Yeah, like
In
Pitt
the,
and Killing November.
yeah,
And
in the a boarding school for con artist vigilantes.
Yeah.
That would be this one.
Mm-hmm.
Or assassins and spies, or for able to like.
Probably.
I have not read Casey West yet, but I have 2 on my shelf to read.
She did, but it wasn't that well done.
Was that this one?
Yes, that's probably my least favorite of hers so far, and I was expecting so much out of it because it's fake dating, but it just didn't do it that well.
Good recommendations for enemies to lovers.
The Hating Game.
Yeah, The Hating Game.
Red, white, and royal blue.
Yeah.
If you like historical romance, I just read one that wasn't, oh my gosh, her ankles, but it was The Princess Plan by Julia London.
Okay.
And there's definitely a hate to love relationship in there with a prince and a female reporter for a ladies' gazette. And his secretary and his only friend really was murdered, and she ends up with a clue and she prints it in her ladies' gazette, and he comes to her all high and mighty prince, crown prince, and wants information and all this, and he's very, very rude, and she really, really doesn't like him, and she doesn't put up with his crap and kicks him out of her house. And it's a cute relationship. I was trying to picture it more modern day when I was reading it, because
I think Dark Days Club could work for this as well.
Truly Devious could work for this as well.
Yeah.
I feel like I know a paranormal one though.
Clint. Dark Days Club could be paranormal.
To be honest, I would say yes, and that's only because I just recently finished the Truly Devious series, and there's a character in there that's labeled non-binary, and from the get-go they were constantly called they, and it wasn't an issue.
That's how I just finished Wicked As You Wish, and it was like that as well. There's a character that's non-binary.
Do you know that Dean Koontz wrote gothic romance novels under a pseudonym? No, I didn't know that.
I haven't read a Dean Koontz book yet, but I'm going to put this down because I'm all about some gothic romances.
That's pretty funny. Like, it's hard to imagine, because I've read plenty of Dean Koontz. It's hard to imagine him writing gothic romance. He's more like a sci-fi mystery thriller kind of person. So
see, that's kind of like James Patterson has a few romance novels that are strictly just by him and no one else, and I'm just like, what? And
hey, do you want to know? I want to hear something really, really creepy from a Dean Koontz book. Hold on.
Matter of fact, a really good romance by James Patterson is Sundays at Tiffany's, where it takes the
Is that a movie?
It's a movie as well, but you're thinking probably of Breakfast at Tiffany's too.
Oh, okay.
But Sundays at Tiffany's is about a girl who discovers that her soulmate is her imaginary friend when she was a kid. and she runs into him again when she's an adult, and he becomes a real person, and it like shatters my soul. And the movie has Alyssa Milano from Charmed playing the main character. And I was like, what? My favorite, the one woman I would go straight for, isn't it? Yeah, I'm down for this. And I will rant and rave this James Patterson to everybody.
Back when he was still writing his own books.
Well, this one's got a female with him as well, but I think that's because he needed the female perspective when he was writing the character. So that she's not problematic.
This is The Eyes of Darkness by Dean Koontz. And there's like this really creepy thing that people actually, y'all may have seen posts about this online because of all of the coronavirus. But this says, to understand, you have to go back 20 months. It was around then that a Chinese scientist named Li Qin defected to the United States, carrying a diskette record of China's most important and dangerous new biological weapon in a decade. By the way, this came out in 1981.
I've seen a post about this.
Mm-hmm.
They call this stuff Wuhan 400.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was developed by their rDNA labs outside the city of Wuhan. And it was the 400th viable strain of man-made microorganisms created at that research center. Wuhan 400 is a perfect weapon. It afflicts only human beings. No other living creature can carry it. And like syphilis, Wuhan 400 can't survive outside a living human body for longer than a minute, which means it can't permanently contaminate objects or entire places the way anthrax or other virulent microorganisms can. And when the host expires, the Wuhan 400 with him perishes a short while later, and as soon as the temperature of the corpse drops below 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Do you see the advantages of all this? This virus in here is kills people within like minutes, and everybody's infested in days. But it's very different, but still it was kind of creepy. That
I wonder if he can see the future.
Well, that's like, there was one about Tangled too, and I don't remember what the specific connection was, but people were like, if you look it up, the island is called Corona Island.
Yeah, where Rapunzel's from is the town that she's originally from is the Kingdom of Corona.
Yeah, but it was like there was some other connection to it too.
Because she was isolated by herself in a tower, is what they were saying.
That might have been it, yeah.
It was too much of a stretch.
Yeah, I was just like...
Okay. Terrell is asking, what is our favorite Shakespeare movie adaptation and our least favorite movie adaptation? I can use the same exact Shakespeare play for this. Much Ado About Nothing and Much Ado About Nothing. The new Much Ado About Nothing that's black and white with Amy Acker and all of them, that's directed by Joss Whedon, was a horrible representation of Much Ado About Nothing, in my opinion. But the original one with what's his name, who plays Gilderoy Lockhart.
Oh yes, that one's fantastic.
Version is amazing.
Yes, that one is fantastic.
Or we could go Romeo and Juliet counts for both, and both being Leonardo DiCaprio versions. Because there's parts of that was good, and there was parts where they're holding guns, going, "I point my sword at you, sir." I wish there was more male authors, and I feel like there's getting more coming out, at least in the YA genre, even though that they're mostly just LGBT. I feel like I need more male authors to write more romance genres that are male-female, where they actually do a good job writing the female character.
I think it's good that men are going.
what just happened?
I don't know.
That was weird.
Is it every time I talk? No. Okay, I don't know. I feel like it's great that events are getting delayed or postponed or canceled, because stay the hell home. I don't understand. And also because I'm slightly glad that what is it? BookCon and all that has been pushed back because they weren't allowing any booktubers or anyone to come. So they were like, here, you got to pay your $600 ticket or whatever the heck it was. So.
Wow.
It's a good thing I've never gone.
Yeah, I don't think I saw a single person approve this year, and they were basically sending out rejections that were like, "Oh, we see that you're actually a blogger, so you don't count." So, and it was just like, "Oh, but everyone counted last year, so I guess now we don't count anymore." So,
yeah, last year I screwed up and didn't get for like free with the media thing. I did it wrong. And I went in as a blogger, and so I paid $200 and something to go.
Yeah. Well, I just went for BookCon or whatever the weekend because it was so much cheaper. Because I didn't apply for a media pass, and then this year I was like, okay, I'll apply for a media pass, and then everyone was getting denied because they were essentially like, "You're a blogger, you don't count." It's like, I'm sorry, do booktubers not control most of the YA marketing anymore?
They really do.
It's like,
yeah, I had actually decided I wasn't going to go this year because my plans may get changed, but I'm supposed to be going over to Europe for like a month and a half and bouncing around during the time that BEA and BookCon was going to be happening. And now I'm like, I might not get to go. And I'm so sad. Hopefully all of this gets better before that. Because I'm supposed to leave on June 3rd. I already have my tickets.
To answer your question, Terrell, that's not even a question. Dawson's Creek.
Favorite graphic novel would be I Hate Fairyland. Love I Hate Fairyland. I think I actually might have learned about it from you, Allie.
I was going to say, I don't know anyone who was mentioning it before me.
I learned it from Allie, and I love
I've heard a couple others talk about it before, but I Hate Fairyland is my favorite. I love it.
Vince is my favorite.
Really, really love the Back to the Future series and Buffy. Yeah.
Well, obviously Buffy.
I really love Giant Days too.
Yeah, Giant Days is pretty great. Mine's probably
I haven't liked. I don't know. I haven't really gotten any that I'm just like, this sucks.
Sex Criminals is probably the worst one I've read.
Snot Girl.
Yeah, it's not great. I love the aesthetics, and I will keep reading for the aesthetics, but it's not good.
And I think Snot Girl was something that I had gotten from from you too, I believe, Allie. And then, but it may have been before you read it. I think it was before you read it, and I got it around the same time.
I think
I didn't like it at all.
Mostly enjoyed the first one for the most part because it was like mystery, intrigue, whatever. And then the second one, I was like, what is going on? Like, I don't even know what's happening.
Yeah, I was like, I wasn't interested enough to continue. And so I just stopped it because they're so expensive.
Yes, they are.
Like I said, is that even a question? I am the biggest. Let me just reach over here. I am the biggest Dawson's Creek fan you'll ever meet because it's just Pacey for life. Also, enemies to lovers.
Well, I mean,
enemies to lovers, guys.
She comes and arms at me and she'll pat at my face like, hey, pay attention. Hello.
Terrell, Boy Meets World. I hated the Wonder Years.
Beverly Hills 90210. I never really got into Dawson's Creek. And the Wonder Years for me. I loved the Wonder Years. But I love Boy Meets World too.
I have to go Boy Meets World because of Topanga and Corey.
Yeah, I love Boy Meets World. But I mean, I literally grew up with watching the Wonder Years.
And I literally grew up watching Boy Meets World. So it's like, do you have an opinion of either of these, or do you know what these shows are?
I've never watched any of these.
Okay.
I know of all of them, but I've never been a TV person.
Allie, do you have a personal fave YA contemporary OTP/ship?
I mean, Peter Kavinsky and Laura Jean are my all-time. Behind them, I'm trying to remember the characters from Ramona Blue. I'm very bad with remembering any names, but the characters from Ramona Blue, I love them too. They're probably my favorites.
I have to go with nostalgia here to the very first LGBT book that I ever read. It was the first time that I saw LGBT characters that weren't side characters, that were actually the main characters. So I'm going to have to go Kyle and Jason from the Rainbow Boys trilogy.
I've never even heard of that.
It is really cute. It's about 3 gay boys, gay, and bisexual, coming to terms, and they're all different versions. Because you got Nelson, who's the flamboyant one that everyone automatically knows is gay. Mm-hmm. You got Kyle, who's in the closet a little bit, but out. He's just very quiet about it because he's a swimmer and he's a nerd. And then you got Jason, the star basketball player, who starts to realize he has a thing for Kyle when his girlfriend's going down on him, and he starts to see Kyle's hat over his girlfriend's head. Instead of a boy. And they're all just amazing.
I'm looking forward to it. I really like Court of Thorns and Roses series. I'm actually currently reading the Throne of Glass series, and not liking it as much as the Court of Thorns and Roses series, but I'm looking for. I know a lot of people have issues with A Court of Frost and Starlight, but I enjoyed it for what it was.
I mean,
yeah, it was not necessary, but like
it was just like a fun little add-in. Like, yeah, I didn't take it as a full, anything. But there's like a chapter sampler at the back of that for the next book, and I was just like, yes, I can't wait to read the next book.
Mm-hmm. I've been living for Nesta.
Terrell pointed this out. Do you recognize Matt Bomber?
That I do.
Before he was famous.
Do what?
Matt Bomber before he was famous.
Uh-huh.
I recognized that when I originally, when I repurchased them, because I lost my copies.
I'm being stared at. Why'd you put me down?
And my only thing that I'm going to be skeptical with ACOTAR is the next one is I'm not a big Nesta fan, and I'm curious where this is going to go because I don't know if I like Nesta and Cassian.
It's going to be an excellent hate-to-love relationship.
Like the ultimate.
Yes. The ultimate hate-to-love relationship.
The only way I'll approve of that is if she gets a character arc and she realizes that she's truly not as big of a bitch as she truly wants, like she's projecting.
I mean, it happened with Cameron.
Yeah.
I'm even okay if she's a bitch because Cassian probably deserves whatever's coming at him. So, go for it.
I just also want Azriel to end up with Elaine, even though Elaine's supposed to be with Lucien. I don't care. I want her with Azriel because I feel like he's the one that would really protect her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Lucien can go to hell for the whole reasons. And to answer that question, I have no idea.
Yeah, no. I don't know.
I can't name any off the top of my head.
Interesting.
Thank you. Oh, new YA releases. Oh, God. I don't even know if I can think of any off the top of my head. That's how terrible. Time of Our Lives. Oh my gosh, Cinderella is Dead. That's also that I want to finish reading this week. I'm very excited for that. Yes, yeah, very excited for that. Why can't I think of none? Girl Serpent Thorn is also one of that I'm really anticipating.
Maybe. I don't know. It was
Um,
a friend of mine sent me these two, so I'm like, I'm intrigued, but at the same time not.
I haven't always vibed with Veronica Roth's writing, so I don't know.
I haven't liked a single one of her books that I've tried before, so I'm kind of scared.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think. I have a whole spreadsheet on new upcoming releases, but I cannot think of any.
Caleb Roehrig. What's the name of it?
Ooh,
The Tale of the Dark.
Tale of Dark or something like that.
By
What
Caleb
is it?
Roehrig.
But that's definitely, well, yeah.
That's a YA release with gay vampires. That's all
Yeah.
I'm gonna say. It's like Buffy meets gay vampires.
Wait, what is it?
The Tale of the Dark. I'm going to look it up to make sure I'm saying it
What was I
right.
gonna say?
It comes out in July, I do believe.
Tale of Dark.
The
No.
Tale of Dark.
The Bell of Dark.
Hold on. I got to get on Goodreads to pull it up.
I am probably gonna have to go in like 10 minutes because I have to walk the dog.
Okay. Frankie's like, I gotta go potty.
Well, she ate. I normally take her around 5:30, so
Well, yeah.
so she's
It's
probably like,
5:02.
oh.
Yeah, he's also got a comic, I guess, a graphic novel coming off called A Werewolf in Riverdale.
Mm-hmm. It's not a graphic novel, it's an actual book.
Oh, okay.
I
The
asked her
Tale of
about
Dark.
it.
Yeah, is what it's called. Here's what the cover looks like.
Oh, I haven't even heard of that.
He's the author that did the Death Prefers Blonde.
Okay.
program.
And yeah, I want to read all his books after reading that one because it's so good.
Hunting November comes out in May, just so everybody knows, by Adriana Mather. Just go
I
get
wonder
it.
where I've seen that title before.
Her husband has a book that comes out in June called The Brave. It's a middle grade story about a Native American boy, and it deals with grief and bullying and stuff like that. That's supposed to come out, which the ARC will be here soon because I'm in an ARC tour of that, and I can't wait. That one's like the one I'm like, ugh. Like I'm scared to read it, but I need to read it.
Yeah.
Because he's amazing hugs, and he's like a wonderful person, and I'm just afraid that I'm not going to like his book.
That's the worst. That's why I've not picked up any booktubers books. So I'm like, what if I don't like them?
You read it in secret. You read it in secret, and then if you love it, you rave about it, and if you don't, you just pretend like you've never read it.
Or you just, when you do your wrap up, like, I gave this a 3-star. And you just throw it down and you go, and we move on.
No, because then my comments would just be like, we need to talk about this rating.
Yeah,
I'd just be like,
I would just not ever, if I read it and I didn't like it, I would just not admit to ever reading it.
because both books that have came out, Sasha's and
Christina's.
Polina's, they both sound really good, but I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least with Sasha, I have an excuse because I don't read that much sci-fi.
Well, she also has a co-author.
Both of them have gotten not good reviews either.
Which is concerning.
But at the same time, I'm like, are they not getting good reviews because they're booktubers and people just want to bash and get talked about? Or are they honest opinions?
Yeah, I haven't even looked at reviews because I don't want to know. So
I'm just only heard like when people talk about it in the wrap-ups or whatever. It was not ever anything good that anybody said. So
yeah.
I'm just not. But I mean, if I did read them and I didn't like them, I wouldn't bash them. I wouldn't say anything about it.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I would treat it like any other book.
Yeah, see, I don't bash books. I just go like, it didn't work for me, but it might work for you if you like the premise.
And then I will continue to bash it.
Like, this is why it didn't work for me.
I will bash it.
I have only ever bashed 2 books on my channel. The Poetry Collection by Nico Tortella. All I got to explain is there's a poem about piss and a poem about shit. Legitimately, and that explains my hatred.
Yep, that's enough.
And then Meddling Kids by Edgar Cantero. I got like 70 pages in and threw it across the room and wanted to burn it.
Yeah, the last one I read about was one that Clint sent me for a birthday gift.
I'm sorry, I forgot about the problematic issues. I sent her that the Anne Rice's Claiming the Sleeping Beauty, which is BDSM.
Oh,
Seeing that she gets raped in her sleep and then becomes a slave, and it's just not good.
So
when I read it at the time, I enjoyed it. I now notice problematic things, and I forgot all these problematic things in it.
Isn't it weird that you'll look back on a book and remember enjoying it, and you're reading it, and you're like, I was either really fucked up or really blind. Like,
I was like, I know I'm into some bad things and all, but damn.
He's like, Melanie likes retellings. I'm gonna send this to her. And so he sent it to me along with some other books. And I was like, ooh, this sounds interesting. And then I read it and I was like, this is now at the top of my list for the worst book I've ever read.
Well, she mentioned she wanted a more erotic retelling in one of her videos, and I just happened to find it at a Goodwill, and I was like, I'm already sending her a package, let's throw this in there too. I read it and loved it when I read it. She wants it erotic.
Yeah, no. But I love you anyway.
Okay, so how is everybody liking the readathon? Let's do some readathon things before we wrap up.
It was called The Claiming the Sleeping Beauty. Somebody asked what.
Mm-hmm. Do we like the challenges? Do we not like the challenges?
Yeah, I think the challenges were good. I tend to like more vague challenges. So I think they worked. I don't like when people get too specific.
That's what we like to do, is we like to make them as vague as possible. Like, I know for one of ours, for the Fall into Reading-a-thon ones, was like a beverage on the cover. And someone read one that had blood on the cover because vampires drink blood.
Oh, that's
and I'm
good.
like, yes.
Yeah. My Apple AK one, I read a graphic novel, a Back to the Future graphic novel, because it was time travel.
That worked. Yeah.
Where you can kind of like fit, try to fit something in there.
Oh yeah, I am the queen of making something work for a challenge. Like, if I can make it work, I will make it work.
I'm like, I just like to see how creative people get with the challenges, and people have brought up things that even I've gone, I didn't even think of it like that.
Yes, that's what I always love, like the reading rush, because you get to see how people take each challenge so differently. Because then there's sometimes I'm like, that's genius, and I'm stupid. Why did I not think of that? But yeah, I like that. I like seeing how people interpret things.
See,
when I was planning my Owls TBR, one of the challenges is a book with a beak on or a creature with a beak on the cover. And yeah,
I don't think I have any of those. An octopus?
A beak?
Yeah, octopus.
Oh yeah, I guess we do have a beak.
Octopi have beaks.
I know a lot of people were like,
octopuses got the beaks.
Yes.
Crows, if it's got a crow on.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
I was like
chickens. Like, that was what came to mind.
Granted, the book I picked did have like a crow with a beak, but I was thinking I could think outside the box on this one, because technically people can call a nose a beak.
Yeah,
like you've got a big nose, they call it a beak. So any book with face would work.
Or even like, I guess scientific terms like a beaker. Could that work?
Yeah.
Well, it's not a creature
in it, so
it says a creature. with
Oh,
a B.
Well,
So
so
person is reader.
you also got creative for Contemporary-a-thon for a book with green on the cover, and you did John Green.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because they weren't like, it didn't have to be specific. We just got creative. There's green on the cover. You didn't say it could be the word.
Yeah.
But anybody that's interested in our next round, we're going to do a full month in July.
My
or
birthday
summertime
month, by the way.
No, yes, it's going to be the same month as Clint's birthday. Normally we would do June, but when we were like planning all of this, I was like, I'm hopefully going to be in Europe the entire month of June and don't want to try to plan a live show during that time. So if I do get to go on my trip, I get home like July 16th. So we're going to do the entire month of July for the readathon and then the live show towards the end of that month when I'm back home on my own computer, on my own Wi-Fi. Hopefully my trip doesn't get canceled because that would really suck. I'm like, right now, I literally only have my plane ticket. I don't even have a hotel for the first night I'm there because I'm afraid to book anything else.
Yeah.
Marty told me just as long as I book things that I can get all my money back.
I would assume, I mean, I like to think that most places would refund at a time like this, but capitalism.
Hello.
So, yeah. Never mind.
Well, the way I bought my plane ticket was I bought it in two parts. So I have like from here to New York round trip and then my New York to Paris round trip. The New York to Paris, I bought the insurance so I can get that back. But the here to New York round trip, I can't get that back because I didn't get insurance. And I also got the cheapest possible ticket.
Yeah.
Where they don't offer any refunds. Somebody said, what's the first thing you're going to do once we're off lockdown?
Book shopping and moving.
Go back to work. Like that's it. Go back to just living my day as normal.
Go back to the gym. Get back to the gym. My gym is closed. The massage place is closed.
Plant shopping is number one.
Get a massage. Oh.
Is there any challenge ideas that anyone has that they think would be cool for a future readathon? And this could be posed to both Mel and Allie as well.
Maybe not for any readathon. Let's just say for the next one.
Okay, for the next readathon.
Get a burger. Oh, somebody get a burger was for a challenge. They want to get a burger when they're out of lockdown.
And it will be a summer themed readathon. So everybody.
If it's July, you could do like a Christmas in July and do one that's not of season.
Maybe.
Yeah. You could do one that's like, I don't know, it could be Christmas themed or it could be like have snow on the cover or something.
There is a readathon that actually goes on in July called Christmas in July.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I know I like the idea of, I have an idea for a challenge that I've talked with Mel about. I want to pose it to everybody to see their thoughts because it is my birthday month. I was thinking about making a video of like some of my favorite books. And like one of the challenges is you have to read one of my favorite books.
Yeah, you could even do like
celebrate my birthday.
I've seen people do you have to read one of the host's favorite books. So not any different than that.
I just think that'd be a cool idea just to come join my birthday and read one of my favorite top 20 books.
Or they have to pick one that you're also reading.
Yeah. Seeing as I am the smallest channel out of the three of us.
subscribers do you have now, Clint?
Huh?
How many subscribers do you have now?
Let me go to YouTube.
Just don't click on this video.
I will know. I'm going to.
It's a baby channel. When I first found his channel, like I think he's commented on one of my videos, and I went and looked at his channel, and he had 35 subscribers.
I have 289.
But I was just like, his personality. I told him, I said, you and I, we need to be friends. A readathon for each holiday: Halloween, 4th of July, Easter. For our summer readathon. Faye says a book about a birthday. I mean, 4th of July is America's birthday.
Yeah.
See, I do like the idea of like the Christmas in July kind of idea, but we could call it something different. But like read a polar opposite of the season.
Well, it doesn't, like the Christmas in July readathon is just focusing on Christmas books, whereas this could just be like a winter type book.
It's so hot outside, read a book set in winter.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, you need to cool off. Read a book set in the winter, or read a book with snow on the cover.
Yeah.
I still like the idea of a Pride book, seeing as we're no longer doing it in June.
Yeah.
June is Pride Month, and everybody's Pride Month is getting fucked over because of Corona. Celebrating Pride Month would be cool.
Yeah. I enjoyed being here. Thank you guys for having me.
We loved having you here. I was so happy when you posted that picture, and it was just like, perfect, because we were looking to have somebody join us, and literally we were having the discussion the day you posted that, and I was like, I'm gonna write Allie, and you said
we threw out some names, and you were one of the names that we threw out.
Do I? Yeah, so I'm glad you joined us.
Well, I was excited when you messaged me, but I've had a lot of stuff going on at work, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to have time. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I don't know if I work that day. I don't know what's happening. And then I was like, I'm just going to make it work. And then, of course, this happened anyway. So, great timing.
Though, it did actually kind of work out well because everybody's having to stay home anyway.
Yeah.
And our readathon was just, already planned. So everybody had plenty of time to read all their books.
And we do 4 a year. So if you ever want to come back and join us, you have an open invitation. Even if you can't help host and you just want to join the live show because you read the group book and want to help us talk with an author, you're more than welcome to.
I've got the first time nervous sweats out of me. So good to go from
I don't know. It happens to me every time. Like I'm fine until maybe 20, 30 minutes before the live show. And then I start the nervous sweats and I'm like, okay, what's going to go wrong?
I'm still
But have
nervous.
everything set up right.
I'm still nervous for future readathons because what if I end up not liking the group book?
Yeah.
Because I'm such a picky reader.
Well, that's why we pick ones that we think are going to be really good.
And then most of the questions you ask authors have not much to do with the book most of the time. Like we were asking about like their writing in their lives, not necessarily just the book. And even then you can recall events from the book. You don't have to be like, hey, your book was shit. So
yeah, now I mean it would be awkward if they're like, so what did you think of the book? Or what did you rate our book? That would be awkward, but
I feel like they should know at this point. They just don't like.
But yeah, I think it works out well because I mean, yeah, you can still discuss the book. You can still, talk about things that happened in the book that you did like, or maybe something you didn't like in the book, and like ask why this was or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really like that the dad ended up still being a jerk. I was really hoping for, something to happen and him turn around and not be the biggest butthead in the world.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. But at the same time, I still really liked the book because she overcame that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, you don't have to say I hated your book, but you can
Well,
still discuss it.
I would just feel so awkward in the middle of it, like while we're discussing things. I'd probably let everybody else talk and then probably throw in a few questions here and there and try to steer away from the book for a few minutes.
And also, if you read any of their other books and enjoyed their other books, you can also talk about past books, and we talk about future books, and like you said, we talk about writing styles and.
See, that's why I went ahead and read Always Never Yours, so I would get a little taste of their writing before I went into this to be like, oh, let's just get my heart, like let's go into it. Let's see what happens. Both of them gave it 5 stars. We're good. I trust both ladies' judgments. Neither one of y'all have steered me wrong.
Xander wants to say hi.
Hello.
Hi.
You gonna play a song?
So Xander's birthday was 3 days ago, and this was his birthday present.
Well, happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
You gotta try to play it as loud as possible. So,
if you ever just put the amp put it on clean, because
all right, go play something and see if they can hear it. Can y'all hear that at all? Yeah, just strum it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, he wants to try to play something for y'all.
Okay.
Go ahead. Harry Potter.
That was
good.
I couldn't tell if y'all could hear it or not because it's so quiet.
Yes, and
You
I
can
knew
hear it.
immediately because that's my ringtone. So I'm just so used to it.
Yeah. He
I'm
was like,
like,
I want to play the Harry Potter song. I was like, cool.
Hi, Ray.
Oof. They say happy birthday, Xander.
I mean, Mel just recently read Harry Potter in the last 2 years for the first time with Xander.
Yeah. Yeah, we both read it for the first time together.
And she knew nothing. She knew none of the spoilers or anything. So I'm still trying to figure out how she went her life without any of that.
What?
I didn't even watch the movies. Like, we hadn't even watched the movies because I literally avoided spoilers for 15
You can't
years.
even, like, the internet is just full of them. I don't understand.
Anytime anybody ever discussed Harry Potter or I saw anything about Harry Potter, I just avoided it because I was like, I know eventually I want to read them. And I wanted to read them before I saw them, so I never watched the movies or anything.
I'm like, Zoe and I were like in one live show talking in euphemisms to each other, like, wait till she gets to this part. Oh my God, it's going to break her heart.
Yeah, you're a book nerd, Zoe, and I were doing
The Potter Watch along.
Potter Watch readathon or read along. And so each month we were reading a book, reading one of the books and watching the movie. And I was like taking notes throughout and commenting on the differences between them and my thoughts on them, like the initial reading. And
That's what my mom did when she read them.
it was cool. And then at BEA and BookCon, I had that month. Yeah, so it hasn't even been 2 years. That month was the month that I read Cursed Child. And then I went and saw it on Broadway while I was in New York.
Okay, but hold on, Allie. She got the benefit of knowing it wasn't the 8th book, unlike we did.
Yeah.
We thought it was the 8th book, and we find it to be trash. She enjoyed it because she knew it wasn't going to be the 8th book.
Yeah, I got 2 copies at release night because I was like, this is amazing. This is fantastic. I love it. And then I read it and I was like, throw it all away. Just trash it.
Yeah, I knew going in that it wasn't the next Harry Potter book, and I knew going in it wasn't written by J.K. Rowling, and I knew
we also warned her ahead of time.
I don't think any of them were written by J.K. Rowling. So.
I did watch your tea spill on that.
I gotta agree with that.
I will die on this hill.
I think that was your first Sips by video.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, girl.
I was like, listen, we're getting deep today because J.K. Rowling did not.
I was sitting at the house watching that and I went, oh Lord, she's gonna get attacked. Oh God.
I was waiting for it. I spent hours contemplating. I was like, do I want to do this?
But then again, you have the most hated comments on one of your videos. Isn't it you that was the carry on? That you hated carry on?
I posted a why I hate carry on, and it was essentially a review. Mm-hmm. And it had somehow at one point had more dislikes than watches. And I still don't understand how that happened. And I was getting hate comments on it at least 3 times a day for the past 2 years, to the point where some of them were just like, you're an absolute trash human being. And I was like, this has nothing to do with anything. I don't understand. So I finally just got rid of the video because I was like, I'm not dealing with it anymore. So
I discovered Allie right before she did that rant review, and I ended up reading Carry On because she had a rant review, because I wanted to know why she didn't like it, and I ended up giving it 5 stars.
Well, that's so many people were like, I had to go read this because you hated it, and I loved it, and I was like, great, fantastic. Not the point.
I went into it knowing it was like fan fiction, reading it as fan fiction. That's why I ended up enjoying it, because you were talking about how it was more like just like a ripoff and more fan fiction. I was like, "Ooh, I'm here for fan fiction. Give me all the fan fiction."
Have you read Fangirl?
Yeah, that was the reason I read Carry On.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I've
only read Fangirl. I haven't read Carry On, but I was like, I want to read Carry On now because it's obviously Harry Potter fan fiction.
Yeah. Well, see, I hated those parts in Fangirl, so I don't know why I thought going into Carry On that I would enjoy it.
Have you read Eleanor and Park?
No, and I'm just kind of not going to.
Because I feel like you would like Eleanor and Park better.
I've just heard so many things at this point that I don't know if I want to give it the time of day. So I'm like, I'll just wait till something else comes along.
See, I gave both 5 stars. It's just... I love both. It's just some people who like Fangirl hate Eleanor and Park, and those that love Eleanor and Park hate Fangirl.
Well, see, I loved Fangirl. I just didn't like the Carry On parts of it.
I have one of those videos that got a lot of really nasty comments. It wasn't actually book related at all, but I still have the video on my channel. I just made it private because it was a hair thing. Yeah. It was it was a extreme hair makeover gone wrong. And it was, I had gone to a salon to get it done, and she messed up and fried my hair and like burned places on my scalp and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And she ended up having like, I wasn't mean at all on the video, and I actually didn't say anything bad about her, and actually said nice things about her, and that she tried to, come up with solutions and whatever. But she was very angry about the video being for people to say that she screwed up.
Yeah.
And had her and everybody in her salon and everybody she knew attack my video, and it was really bad. Like,
I thought you were gonna say like hair tube, because like hair tube gets nuts sometimes. Like I posted that one where I dyed my hair blue, talking about blue books or something, and people are like, I can't believe you're applying it like that. And it's like, so I thought hair tube came for you for like doing something weird.
No, they were saying stuff like some of it was stupid. Like, what? Somebody said something about it looked like a Smurf vomited on my head or something like that.
Big
I'm like,
brain.
actually now it looks more like that.
I've only gotten one bad comment so far, and it was an immediate. I deleted it
Yeah.
because it literally all it says was you're a dirty faggot that doesn't know how to read, and your opinion doesn't matter. So go kill yourself. And I instantly just went ha 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 ha. Delete.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't
like
need to see
Your
all you
channel
can
is
do.
reading. How do you not know how to read? How can you be
I'm
bad?
like, my very last name is Reed. Like you read a book. Which is why my channel's name is Reed's Readers.
Yeah, I had someone tell me one time that I wasn't qualified to review books, and I was like, except for I got a degree in it. So, all right, sure.
I also had a lady once on one of my Twitter posts comment going, "You have no right to or have an opinion on a gay book when you're straight." And I went, "Do you know who I am? I'm gayer than Elton John and Richard Simmons put together." So
Well, I'm gonna have to go.
Yeah, me too. I
me
gotta
too.
go.
So,
I gotta go like Frankie.
yeah, it's 2 hours and 30 minutes later.
But this was fun. Thank you again,
Yes.
Allie, for joining us. And you
Thank you,
have
guys.
an open invitation to join for summer, fall, winter, or next spring if you want to.
Absolutely.
Well, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a big thumbs up. Make sure to check out Clint and Allie's channel if you haven't already. And they'll be linked down below, I think. Until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye.
Bye.